There it goes. All right. What's going on, guys? So, Sunday live stream. Need to adjust the camera a bit. There we go. And come over here to the comments. Nobody in the wings just yet. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. I'm trying out this new mic right here on my shirt. But maybe I need to do this instead. See how that works. So, hi. And I've got my new hoodie on. Do you like my new hoodie? I don't know. Do you? Okay, so I now have to wait and see if I have good audio. I guess I could check over here. No, be quiet, machine. Normally I've got people chilling out and waiting to watch. Got somebody here. Let me see. People chilling out and waiting to watch. Okay, so we do have audio, so that's good. That's funny. All right, so I know it's been a little while. I think the last live stream I did was my unboxing my childhood thing, and due to the storms and everything that have happened since then, that box of stuff is still sitting right there on the floor. Like, I have not been active. This is the first time I have sat at my desk in probably 3 weeks, so it feels weird. So basically, this is me really getting back into the groove of doing things the way I was, and getting out of the groove that I've been in for like all of February. So I was basically in the living room building, messing with stuff, even filming. And then for the last few reviews that I've done, I've come in here and been, finally filming things, but I've been editing and everything in the living room. So I got to be careful because I am attached to my computer via this very thin wire. So I picked up this little lapel mic thingy from Walmart just to see if it would work pretty well. So this is my first major test of it. So you guys let me know in the comments how it sounds, because it's going to be a little bit different also for this. I'll wait a few minutes, see if people show up. I know somebody else is watching besides myself, so make sure you say hi in the chat if you are. And I'm working on getting the third channel set up for live streams. I forgot that they have a new activation dealie. I was trying to do it tonight so I could stream here and on the third channel all at the same time, but I failed to do so. So, yeah. So what's funny is in coming back in here, I remembered that I still had so many things left over to review. I still have the NECA Doc Brown right here. I've got the 1000 Toys Tekkaman. I've got the cooler right there. And since then, or since the storm, I have Hoth version of Luke and Han that I've got to review. All kinds of stuff going on. Also, I did pick up some stuff this weekend for the comic book fans. If you are a fan of the Batman White Knight series and you aren't aware that they're continuing that universe, so now they've got Batman White Knight Harley Quinn, and this is book 5 out of, I don't know how many they're going to do. I think they've been doing like 8. So I'm really enjoying the story. It's more Harley centric. I think it's something like 2 years past the end of Curse of the White Knight, which is pretty dang cool. I'm caught up on the Power Rangers and the Mighty Morphin series, and I keep forgetting. It's so strange because they are doing 2 different things. So they've got Power Rangers, which is I believe it's continuing the numbering system from the original run of the comic book. So they're at like issue 60 something. But if you pick up Mighty Morphin, that's new, from what I remember. But it's also still a tied together story. It's just taking place in 2 separate divisions. So it's really weird, and the numbering system kind of doesn't make sense. So we'll see. We shall see what happens. Still nobody here watching. But that story is getting interesting, especially with the new Green Ranger, things like that. Also, I picked up issue 2 of The Last Ronin. So if you guys aren't following that at all, this seems to have taken forever to get back around. And what's pretty cool is that this is a new Ninja Turtle story, but Eastman and Laird are on board for this. So it's actually really cool. And this one talks about things that happened in the past. So it starts out obviously in the future with the issue 1. This is all coming in now. So we get The Last Run, and yeah, that's Raphael on the cover. So that's pretty cool. Definitely something people should read. It's a big fat comic. Where is everybody? Everybody watching American Idol? Is that what's happening here? I have no idea. Let me set this off to the side. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be running down to give Rodimus 13 his stuff. I've had Transformers for him for a couple months now, so I needed to get those to him, so I'll be doing that very soon. So, yay for all that. I have been working on builds. I got to get back to that, but I also got to get back to reviews. Speaking of reviews, if you saw my post on Friday, I believe it was, where it was this review is cursed, and I was talking about the Re-Rising Gundam review, and I have filmed it twice. The first time I realized my new microphone was not plugged in and it sounded terrible. If you guys have been seeing the last 6 or 7 reviews that have come out, for the most part, the audio goes real bad. It's only coming through one channel, or it starts going really crackly or faded. That's all due to damage that's been done to my phone. So that's why I picked up the microphone. Same reason I picked up this little guy here. So I filmed accidentally without having the microphone plugged in, so that sucked. Deleted all that footage, started over, now with knowledge. So once I got through that entire review, was happy with how it went, did all my picture taking, all that stuff, offload the footage, and I go to edit it, and it's clear that the microphone wasn't plugged in all the way. Hida, what's going on? Anthony? Finally, people start showing up. So it was clear that the microphone was not plugged in all the way, because there is like a loud buzzing or humming, or in sometimes like screeching. If you guys have ever had a set of headphones or microphone not plugged in all the way, and you hear that, that was what was happening through that entire review. And frankly, I do not want to film it again. To me, it's going to be a waste of time just to do it all over again. So I think what I might do, using either the good big mic that I usually use for streaming, using this guy, or even the mic that I use for that, just doing a voiceover to the video that I've already got done. Or maybe I'll transcribe that review, like try to really just recapture the words and then make it fit again. I hate doing voiceover for things like that. If it's not a planned out like script for the most part, I'm not that good at it. When it's something especially that I filmed and then now I'm having to redub, basically, that sucks. I'm not looking forward to it. I tried it the other day, and like I said, this review is cursed. I tried doing it with the lapel mic here, and my first test of it came out great. Sounded great. Just tell people to turn on subs. Yeah, right. There won't be subs if there's no audio. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was literally because it wasn't plugged in all the way. Like, because it's got that mic has a fatter, like 90-degree angle thing, and it's going into my OtterBox as such, like that. Sometimes it feels like it's plugged in all the way, but maybe it's hung up on the edge, or this is getting in the way. I've had it happen plenty of times, usually with headphones, not with microphones. This is my first foray into having external microphones for things. So it wasn't a problem. I filmed several reviews. The Barbatos review that's coming out tomorrow. We got Master Grade Monday finally coming out tomorrow. So that a lot of out the box reviews, several of the music reviews are all filmed with that new microphone. Zero problems. In fact, sounds fantastic. And like I said, this is the first one that first thing I'm actively doing with the lapel mic to see how it sounds to you guys. You can blame YouTube for missing stuff. That's funny. But yeah, no, that's how my Friday went. I thought I was going to be done with all of that, especially considering the combination of the Re-Rising Gundam is not the most fun thing in the world. So it is what it is. I've taken files to undersized case ports before. Interesting. But I don't think that I'm willing to shoot the entire video again versus just kind of do a cut down thing. I mean, it comes down to whether or not I bother with like some of the flourish or the conversation that I tend to do when I'm filming live. To whether or not I do anything with that. Oh, by the way, the other day I did put my stuff back on the shelf. So the Ninja Turtles now moved up here along with Splinter. And basically I have all Foot Clan over here with the exception of Raph and Casey, which I believe are like right here still fighting the Foot. I might bump them up to the shelf up there, have a couple NECA shelves. I did see more Super Shredders on the shelf at my local Walmart, so that's kind of cool that that's either finally coming out or coming out again. I've still seen the Shredder Splinter 2-pack, which I don't want to buy because I already have those figures, but I want the extra accessories they come with, which is stupidly annoying. I do have a couple new projects that if you are following the Patreon, I have posted a couple what's going on over there. I did get myself a couple of toys, so to speak, that I will be doing custom work to. So look forward to that coming up on the channel. In fact, I've finally got some stuff in yesterday. And then I have a box from Amazon coming tomorrow of more supplies I need for that project. So that's going to be one of the more ambitious things that I try this year. That has nothing to do with Gunpla, but will still be very fun and will definitely. Do the turtles get to borrow the DeLorean? No, they can't drive. They're not legal in the state of California. Also, I believe that. Well, I don't know. Let's see. 1985. They wouldn't have been old enough to drive the DeLorean. So no. Once again, in New York. I also got new parts for the. I guess if you watch the thing, was that in my? No. So I have new parts for the Ecto 1 build, so I'll be working on that very soon. Once again, that will be on the Patreon. I'm trying to do a lot more Patreon content to, I don't know, draw in more patrons. Because frankly, I could use all the help I could with this channel. January was a pretty barren month. Obviously, I didn't have that much content, but also January is the worst month for advertisers, so that does suck. They drove the pizza wagon. Yes, but that was not in 1985. Or was that in the movie universe? Plus, you can only fit 2 turtles in there if you could fit them in at all. Because, DeLoreans are pretty small. I don't know if you guys have ever been in one or been around one and looked inside. There's not a whole lot of room in there. It was meant to be a sports car, not a van, as it were. Pizza wagon, party wagon, shell van, turtle van, all those things. But the other thing I've been working on that I will be reviewing, I bet you the pizza wagon wasn't even registered. How could it have been? It was built in the sewers. I have been messing with a certain thing to master its transformation so that I can do the review fairly flawlessly. And for those, of course, who saw the in the kitchen video. So been playing around with the not Zeta, not Unicron. It's still fun, but also still very annoying. So that's going to be a thing to review. And the other thing is, I was planning on putting this on the top shelf of the Besta. You know, if you guys are following the vlogs on how I got my Thundercats set up going on and all that stuff. Yeah, he's too tall. So at the moment, I don't know where I'm going to put this guy, and that's kind of annoying, if I'm honest. The other option is I move the Ecto 1 from its parking spot and put him there. Could do that. Not what I had planned, but it's something I could do. Um, he's not as tall as the combiners that I've got, or the city bots that I've got, but he's also still too tall for the space that I've invested in. And I could technically try to move the shelves, but then I got my wire holes in the wrong spot, and I don't feel like rewiring my lights. But that is an interesting purchase and things like that. They should have been a one seater. Talking about the DeLorean? I'm talking about the pizza van as it is. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I forgot the trophy of apathy. The Funicorn. Yay. Best thing I bought in 2020 was the Zero Fucks Given. Sorry, I forgot about that, guys. Apologize. Another thing, since I will be doing live streams over on the third channel, so be doing live stream reaction reviews of stuff that people suggest. I'll probably be taking donations for suggestions and things like that. So if you're interested in that, by all means, go subscribe to the third channel. That channel's growing. I think I'm going to knock out a bunch of content for it this week, along with getting reviews of robotic things and humanoid things done, and just basically I need to get back on track. Fighting laziness has been very difficult. Making sure that I actually do this job has been very difficult. Unicron is not the biggest figure you've got. No, not even close. The uh, the largest the largest single figure I have is that DX9 Gabriel. What's up, Eric? And he's smaller than that. So that Unicron is big. The Hasbro Unicron is massive. Like it's 29 inches, if I remember correctly. This is only like 18 inches or something. 18 or 19 inches. Though I heard yesterday, I was listening to Nerd Rage Radio, and someone was talking about the Hasbro or HasLab Unicron and how someone has figured out how to remove all those collapsing shell parts that are on the legs and on the back and all that, and reassemble it to kind of make the planet mode separately with there's a few gaps here and there, but for the most part someone determined that you can basically de-shell the shell former that is that Unicron, make a separate planet mode, and still have the functional robot Unicron, and that's amazing. I guess you won't have the wings because the wings are his rings. So there's that. But if DNA or Dr. Wu or any of those third party add on kits or companies get a hold of that and they want to make better wings and they want to make filler to help support that separate planet mode, or if they're going to do something along those lines so that you can have a huge, massive Unicron alongside the planet Unicron, that will be pretty badass. That really would make it worth the money. Though somebody needs to make better add-on parts for that thing. I see Joey. Though regarding this Unicron that I have the idea to possibly, because New Age and Magic Square and these guys are doing movie bots now in the Legends size. I'm probably gonna do him with the movie bots like laid out in front of him, something to that effect. Obviously, it's not meant to be to scale. It's going to be like a forced perspective type deal. But so far, New Age technically has Ghost Starscream. Galvatron just came out, which I'll be getting that as soon as I can. along with all the variations thereof. Um, I know they're going to be they already have an Ultra Magnus coming that's based roughly off the old DX9 Dutch, but actually like power armor version of Ultra Magnus, unlike the Magic Square, which didn't have that as an option. So that'll be fun. So I really do want to do that. I think it'll be pretty cool. Like I have my New Age bots and DX9 bots lining the ground, fighting and at the feet of all the city bots and the combiners. And then it'd be fun just to have the movie bots around with Unicron. I think that'll be pretty cool. Figuring out how to display that, I have no idea. I did just pre-order a couple of statues as well from Demon Slayer. I did in the break, so to speak. I caught up on the Demon Slayer anime. It was much better than I anticipated because I kept hearing mixed things about it. Like some people are just like, it's shit, don't bother. And then a lot of people were like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. And it was kind of somewhere in between. It was like just all right for a shonen anime. And then it got really good. And then it's like, okay, can we get on with the next season? I also want to get on with the next season of Seven Deadly Sins because I was really enthralled with that. And I think it's airing somewhere. They just didn't put it on Netflix, which I found strange. It's like it's a Netflix original series, but they're not putting the new episodes on Netflix unless I need to use my VPN and scour the world. I also need to get caught up on My Hero. I need to watch a few more new things. I was suggested to watch Haikyuu, or Haikyuu, and a couple other series like that, and some other stuff that people suggested I watch to get out of the shonen genre specifically and just watch some other things. So those will be fun. Need to do another review live stream series because I was rewatching the final episode or the final live stream we did for Build Divers Re-Rise, and that was a lot of fun. Also, just having so many people hanging out and watching in that. Why does it show my Wi-Fi sucks? That's weird. My only complaint about Demon Slayer is the visual effects. It looks so phenomenal, but they cannot work in the manga. I guess. I mean, I haven't checked out the manga to know that. I mean, I guess that would make sense. Some of the visual effects are like, and then other times it's just a beautiful, beautiful series. And like without spoilers, I had heard about episode 19, and I was like, okay, I'm just trying to get through this to get there to see what happens. And keep your spoilers to yourself for people who have not watched the series who want to watch it. I'm not going to say it, so please don't do that in the comments as well. But after that, I'm just like, holy shit, okay. But yeah, so I did order two Demon Slayer statues. There's a pretty good amount of them out there, but I'm kind of a fan of good old Figuarts Zero, so those are the ones I went with. I'm waiting for them to do more because they don't have like they don't have Inosuke, they don't have Zenitsu, so it's just like, what are you guys waiting on? But they have some of the they have three of the top Demon Slayer guys. I forgot what they're called, but it doesn't really matter that much. It's like, but they have three of them already out, or well, two of them out and one other coming. So that's pretty cool in and of itself. But I'm excited to watch some new anime. I'm also excited because March is almost here, and that means that Godzilla vs. Kong is coming out along with Justice League Snyder Cut. Excited for both of those movies. Not excited for the Tom and Jerry movie that came out this weekend. I could absolutely care less that is even a thing that exists. Yeah, exactly. It's like it'd be fun to have a watch party. But I'll tell you what. Obviously, you can't watch the Snyder Cut in theaters, so that's going to be HBO Max only. But I will go see Godzilla vs. Kong in the theater. I'm not gonna watch that at home. At least not for the first time. And I watched the latest trailer, and it has so much more stuff in it. Like, there's a lot of daytime fighting. There's a whole lot of, you can definitely see the kaiju. You can definitely see the Titans throughout this. EVA 3.0 plus 1.0 actual release date again. Somebody's already been watching. I could have sworn my buddy Tim was already watching that. He was talking about it, so I don't know what's going on with that. I've still not even remotely seen Evangelion, so I'm just like, eh. That's just how I look at it. Is eh. Not saying it's bad. It's just eh. Let's see what else is coming that I'm looking forward to. Oh, obviously been watching WandaVision, which has just continued to enthrall myself and Miss Shoki. So, for those who don't know, I basically dragged her into nerddom, and to get her into any kind of stuff I was into. We started out with uh, the Netflix Marvel series, starting with Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and then eventually the other ones as they came out. We didn't finish any of those, sadly, but uh, got her into that kind of stuff. Then I got her into the Flaro universe with Flash, Arrow, not Legends or anything like that. I figured she wouldn't care about Legends of Tomorrow, so got her into those things, and then obviously built into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Eventually, getting her to watch all the movies. I think, or at least most of the movies. I don't think she's seen Iron Man 3. Now that I think about it, she might not have seen Iron Man 2. Um, but either way, so to get her caught up to the point that she was excited about WandaVision coming out was important to me. So she's like literally asking me week after week until it came out, like, when is WandaVision coming out? When is WandaVision coming out? And it finally did. And then so the finale supposedly, wink wink, wink wink, is this coming Friday, supposedly, because there was rumors that the last 3 episodes were supposed to be an hour long each, and that has not come true yet. The episode 8 was like 38 minutes or something like that, total 40, 42, 46 minutes. So not even close to an hour long. And if the finale is supposed to be next week, then and it's not an hour long, that's gonna suck ass. So that's why a lot of people are thinking maybe we have like a secret episode 10 on the way. You don't like WandaVision at all? Well, that sucks. I don't understand why you wouldn't like it, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, and it's following certain comic books almost to a T, and then it's borrowing from several others, and adapting it all to the MCU and building. So it's so much world building, no pun intended, that it's just fantastic. And we still don't even know, without much or without really any spoilers, like who exactly or why exactly any of this is happening for, as it were. Well, like I said, I don't want to go into spoilers for those who watched it. I watched the first 3 episodes of WandaVision, and I feel like 95% of those are filler. No, Jerry, none of it is filler. Really, this is the thing about WandaVision. It's not filler. Almost everything you see happening is happening for a reason, and it all starts getting wrapped up once you find out what's going on. So it's not filler at all. Yeah, you have to go on. No. This is 100% must watch if you are into the MCU. Because if you think of it this way, WandaVision is filling the gaps for movies that wouldn't happen. What happens in WandaVision is setting the world up for Doctor Strange and Spider-Man 3. So you have to see WandaVision to get those things. This is not a standalone, this won't have an effect on things. This is setting up what happens in those movies to the point that Wanda is returning in Doctor Strange 2. So it it's something you must continue to watch. It's all filler bring characters into the MCU. Really not. It's not a bad show with a really bad comic storyline. It's actually a good show based off of a usually very important storyline from the comics. So, I mean, to each their own, but just know you're wrong. It's not just Disney filler. That's just dumb. It's like I don't understand how it's filler when it would instead of giving us one movie that would have had to try to wrap all the things that are happening in this show into 2 hours or less, and you would have been like, well, I wish they had done more with that. They're literally building it like a comic book, and that's the thing that the Netflix series also got right. You didn't have to condense the whole thing into a movie. You could build it like a comic book. You start out here and then you build the story as you go episodically. It's just that if you're used to the movie format, I mean, if you break this down and think of it as a 6 hour movie instead of eight or nine, yeah, 32-minute episodes, actually, I guess the math doesn't work, but you get my point. It's like, think of it as a 7 hour movie instead of that. It makes way more sense, and I'm on board with them building a comic book story in the form of a comic book. All these things happened for a reason, and it all gets explained in episode 8. You finally find out what's been going on. You find at least some of the truth about what's been going on, and it's all super important. But this is something that could never have been a movie in and of itself. It would have had to have been 3 movies. You would have been 3 movies deep into a new MCU season, as it were, or I guess phase. So the fact that they're building series on Disney Plus that are taking place in phase 4 logistically, and everything so far and even in the future is all going to be tied into this phase, totally makes sense. The only thing that's going to be probably not is the what if show. So, but compared to like the Eternals movie that nobody's going to go watch, WandaVision is good, and it's based off of good storylines. It's based off of important things that happened in the story. So, but where it ends, we don't know. I'm sorry they didn't do it correctly. I don't understand how it can be incorrect when they're just making their own storyline. Everything is just filler. It's all filler till we die. That's terrible, Joey. Because you haven't gotten far enough, Jerry. It's like you don't see why that's important until later in the story. So you can't duck out when it's still a mystery. That's the thing. The whole like the first 5 episodes are really building the mystery, and then you start getting outside that mystery and you start finding out the truth of things from an external point of view. You start finding out why all this is happening, and then it starts to make a lot of sense. In and of itself, you only watch the first 3 episodes, yeah, it looks like crap. It's like, this is stupid. Why is it like this? It makes a lot of sense, and it's a lot of character work. You're entirely wrong about that, Anthony. Entirely wrong about that. And I can't tell if you're just trying to troll or what. But no, it considering their plans for everything after this, it absolutely needed to happen. So no, you're just wrong. The important bits of feel are only 3 minutes ish of the whole episode. Well, see, that's the thing, is that if you're not catching, there's, I don't know how, I don't want to spoil anything. The thing about it is that once you find out what's going on, you realize how much of every episode does matter. Like every little thing along the way is kind of dropping hints as to what's happening and what's going on. But if you're only seeing it at the surface level, then you're not going to get it and you're probably not going to care. That's the truth of it. And I think that's where a lot of people ducked out on this show, especially after the first 3 episodes, because it's like I think by the end of the third episode is when things start getting more real, so to speak. I'm trying to remember if episode 4 was the one that changed things significantly. It might have been. I don't know. We're so many weeks into it now, but no, it's a story that has to go on. I'd love to see. Hold on. I'd love to see the Watcher play out like a late night talk show host or Outer Limits. Like what if? Well, no. Oh, you liked What If? Sorry, I misread that. It's low investment entertainment. Yeah. See, that's the thing about the What If one, and the What Ifs are animated, which I find pretty freaking cool. And obviously, those don't even have to tie in to the existing series. Um, so I like the idea of the What If. I have one What If comic book. It's an old one. It's What If Spider-Man never gave up the Venom symbiote. So it's a pretty good one. But yeah, I think that there were some teasers that happen in WandaVision that are not paid off the way people expected, but it doesn't mean they have completely kicked the idea to the curb that they were trying to instill. So we got to see where that comes from exactly. But I don't know. I think it's great. The wife who knows nothing of comics is thoroughly enjoys it. I mean, she only knows the MCU, knows nothing of the comics, knows nothing of the characters and their history, and she thoroughly is engaged. And it's for fans of the MCU and or comics, for the most part, they're enjoying it. It's like people who aren't super invested don't like it or just can't get into it, especially for the first 3 episodes. But for someone like Miss Shoki, who really doesn't care and it literally has no bearing on her world whatsoever, to be so enthralled and even getting emotionally invested in it, it kind of means something. What am I working on right now? I'm not really working on anything at this exact moment. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm working on a live stream. No, I mentioned earlier that I have supplies coming in for a project that the patrons know about. I do. I'm in the middle of a build. I stopped because I needed to start reviewing stuff, but I did start another HG build. It's still sitting in the living room, maybe a quarter of the way done. Like I said, I had to start building other things. Um, if you're part of the Discord, you do get to see a little bit more. I'll occasionally post work in progress photos or things I just finished over there. Obviously, Patreoners tend to see things that are going on behind the scenes. Uh, obviously reviews and other things early. Projects I'll get to know early. When I get stuff that I don't show everybody, all goes over there. So that's the thing. Waiting to see you. See, that's the thing, Joey. You should have just been watching it. You should have just been watching it, Joseph. Because the problem with waiting until the whole thing is over is you got to avoid spoilers online, like the whole time, and that's hard. That's really hard. Because a lot of people will just post spoilers in their thumbnails, or pictures or whatever, and they'll be like, "Hey, did you see this? Shut up." Um, but like the fun thing about the way this series is unfolding is that they've built a mystery in such a way that everyone has been theory crafting. Like some theories have come true just because of knowledge of the storylines. Some theories are just still out there in the ether. And then other ones, you're just like, okay, what happens now? Like almost every episode that has unfolded something new, you literally go, okay, now what? Where are we supposed to go with this? So no, that's why I say you got to stick with it if you haven't watched it all the way through, or if you've given up on it. And also for those who haven't watched it yet, the last 2 episodes, so episode 7 and 8, have had mid-credit scenes. So stick through the mid-credit scenes. Like after the normal initial credits roll, it's not like 10 minutes into the credits or something like that. Just block people. No, but I mean on YouTube, like for the things that I had the patience to wait a week. Well, see, that's what distractions are for. Falcon Winter Soldier is going to start on the 19th. Okay. See, I was wondering. I was thinking like they were going to make us wait months for that. Did not look at the schedule. But for me, it would have been like, okay, so why every series, if they want people to keep to retain people, um, they needed to have the next series starting within a week or two max. But I guess that makes sense. If it starts on the 19th, that's 2 weeks after WandaVision ends. So there's that. Falcon Winter Soldier is supposedly taking place at the same time as WandaVision, in theory. And I like this idea. So look at it this way: when they're doing all these series, catching up for the most part with characters that were snapped, so they didn't get to have that 5 years of development and then build into in game. So now they've all come back into this new world that has continued on without them and now have to refine their place in society somehow. Um, and, rebuild relationships, literally rebuild homes and things like that, and figure out what it is they're going to do with their life. And for Falcon and Winter Soldier to be something more along the lines of, Captain America Winter Soldier, it's going to have a lot of espionage, run and gun missions, things like that. So, and that's going to build a whole different thing. So you've got this stuff going on in WandaVision, and then you're going to have this stuff going on Falcon Winter Soldier. And I gotta wonder that like all these series that happened before Doctor Strange or Spider Man, whichever one comes first. I don't know which one comes first. I think it's Spider Man. Um, oh yeah, we did get the Spider Man title, so that's pretty cool. Not Far From Home. What is it? No Way Home? Something like that. uh, it'd be interesting to see how WandaVision ends. Like you see that having an effect at the end of each of these series, almost like this is happening at the same time, and the things that happened here end up resonating here. So that'll be interesting to see if that's how that works. Almost the way the MCU used to work with Agents of Shield. So Agents of Shield was running parallel to the Marvel movies, and then at every release of a new Marvel movie at the time, when the episode leading up almost always had some kind of build up to what happens in that MCU movie, and then the next episode after is dealing with the aftermath of that movie. So it's like next week after what just happened. So that was actually really cool. So if they can pull the same thing off with any of the Disney Plus shows, keep that timeline moving. So we see this stuff in this series, which builds up to an event in the next series as well, which builds up to an event in the next movie. And then the next series picks up with the events that happened in that movie and basically just continue the story without having a big gap like we were dealing with that. And I'm fine with that. And that's perfect. And then having 6 different series building alongside 5 different movies is literally how the comic books work. So you'll have your Falcon Winter Soldier comic is running over here. You'll have your WandaVision comic running over here. You'll have your X-Men comic running over here. And then near the end of the year, they all kind of converge into the single storyline near the end, and that's how everything comes together. And that's how the MCU should have been working all along. So I'm fine with it. No Way Home. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, Vision is still dead no matter what. Well, we'll see how they're going to tie WandaVision into what. Okay. Got my hands on MG Hazel Oswala, and it does indeed come with extra parts that you could use to make an entire second upper body for your Jim Quell Hazel early type. Oh, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. Uncanny web recommendation link vids. That's funny. See, that's the problem, Anthony. Without going into spoilers, you know, they're dealing they're dealing with a lot. And the fact that things that happened in game are coming to fruition in this series is great. So, for those who don't know, WandaVision supposedly takes place very shortly after Endgame. So, teeny tiny spoiler without giving you a whole lot more information than that. So, what happened in Endgame has an effect on this. Now, the only thing that's coming out that seems to have no connection to anything is a Black Widow movie. And I'm starting to think that they're just going to abandon it. Like, I think they were holding on to it initially because of something that happens in that movie matters to other things that were coming out, but with everything delayed, they couldn't drop that movie then. So unless that the ending or whatever events happen in that Black Widow movie, which mind you is a prequel, um, I think that's even a prequel to Infinity War. So we got to see where that even comes into things. So that's the one project that they may ultimately abandon unless something super important happens in that movie that they can't show until it coincides with something in these other series or the next movie. And so that's unless it's going to take place or something in that movie has an effect on, say, Falcon Winter Soldier, then I don't know. So that's the one thing that's up in the air as it goes. I know it's supposed to come out at some point, but it's like seriously, just throw it up. The fans have all but forgotten about it. It was supposed to come out almost a full year ago, and then pushed back to like October, and then pushed back to December, and then just pushed back indefinitely to this year at some point. It's just like, come on. It's like we don't care anymore. It's just got to happen. Hold on. DC soft reboot thing, comics or the movies? Because in the movies it is basically soft rebooting. Whether or not Snyder continues after the Snyder cut is done would be an interesting thing to see because we have the Aquaman movie that definitely took place after Justice League. We have the Wonder Woman movies that all take place way before and don't seem to have a direct consequence to anything that currently happens. But if the Snyder cut completely goes a different direction than the original and sets up the Flash movie, which I believe is their main goal with it, is to set up the Flash movie, um, then it sort of means that they could come back into the Snyderverse and just keep rolling from that ending instead of going with the crap that had already happened. And in theory, Aquaman still wouldn't have an effect on anything from his standalone movie. So Aquaman 2 could be rolled into the new Snyderverse. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with the new Suicide Squad. I'm more excited for this Suicide Squad movie because James Gunn was in charge, and they didn't. The studio so far seems like they didn't step in to mess with anything. I think that's the big takeaway from the last couple years is they went, okay, we're not going to interfere. We're just going to let it happen, and unless there's something that we absolutely need to change because of stupid reasons, then they're going to let creators create, and that's what Marvel does. Disney might have a couple little, you should probably make this slightly more friendly in China, which they're already in hot water, and I'm not getting into that. They need to just stay out of the way, let creators create, and frankly, if Snyder is up for it, let him continue with the world he's created from the new Justice League. And maybe we can get Batfleck back on board. Maybe we could get Henry Cavill back on board to play Superman. That would be fantastic. I just like let them come back, give them a reason to come back and stay instead of what happened. And the Batman movie has nothing to do with that universe, just like the Joker had nothing to do, or Joker had nothing to do with that universe. So, it is what it is. I think what they're doing is almost like the separate multiverse deals with that. I mean, technically speaking, the movie universe is already part of the multiverse of the TV series. So there's that. Do I have the Bill Dovish Re-Rise Lord Astray double read bake? No, I don't. I kind of don't care about it, if I'm 100% honest. The only time that I'm going to care about these things is, honestly, I don't know. The thing about it is, I'm not down for buying every single thing that comes out unless I'm just that enthralled. For something that was literally on screen for, I don't know, 45 seconds, I really don't care. I honestly just don't care. That's just more money. I've already got enough backlog to get me through half this year, not including Double October. Um, and that's not even including things I'm already buying for Double October. So, I'm not super interested in it. I mean, it looks cool. I don't care about the gimmick. And I saw a comment earlier about you can build like a really good Astray without bothering with any of the custom parts. And I'm like, cool. I don't care. I was like, the main reason I can say I don't care is because I currently have more than a whole Detolf's worth of Gundams put away. Like they're in storage now. So all of my Detolfs are full, and I have more than a Detolf's worth stowed away already. So when I say I don't care, it's because I really, if it's not something I care to really have or really have on display, then I don't need it anymore. And that's the one of the major changes I made to the channel 2 years ago. That I can't afford to get everything. I can't just get everything willy nilly. Um, half the people don't care if it's something brand new or if it's something that's customized. A lot of people actually want to see old stuff built, which I have some. Um, so if I'm not really interested in it, if it's something that doesn't have any significant value to me or something that I just can't live without, I don't buy it anymore. So I mean, that's just how it comes down to it. The MG Gin. Oh, uh, no, not interested. Especially with MGs, it's kind of hard to get interested in everything. Like they've got, especially because they're doing this new MG seed line. It's almost like I wish that had existed when I was really doing a lot of seed stuff. I'm more interested in getting the rest of the seed Gundam MGs. Dual, Buster, Aegis, all of those. I'm more interested in getting Blitz. I'm more interested in getting all of those than I am in getting the not Zaku's of that series. Like it's cool that they're finally doing it and new engineering and all that kind of stuff, but I kind of don't care about them in the same way that I care about having the Gundams, because I can build a good display out of those. And the fact that they're doing a whole lot of those things with like the Blaze Zaku's, I just saw, I think it's a P Bandai version, the concert version for fake looks, Lucas. MG Virtue is going to be this year's Double October for sure, right? That depends on when it comes out. See, that was the problem. Is like if they don't drop MG Virtue soon enough, no, it won't be in this year's Double October. That's like what happened with Plutone. I got that after Double October, so or right at the end, like literally, I think the last week of Double October, and I kind of had the idea to build it and do it as an extra into November, but by that point, I was already so deep on my custom build. I'm just like, I don't want to stop now, do this and do that. By the way, I can get back to doing details and stuff like that because tomorrow, I will finally have thinner again. I don't know what happened. Like Mr. Color thinner, I can't find it anywhere. Like I finally had to order it off Amazon at a more than it should have been price. And before you say you could get it here, no, shipping would have been made it more expensive than how I got it on Amazon. But that was one annoying thing is that I haven't been able to paint details and stuff. So I've been doing these HG builds without adding extra details. And you know how I am with double O builds. I got to add those things. So if I've got double O stuff in the works, so to speak, then I got to have that. Do you do customizing or kit bashing? Just found your channel through a re-rise video, so I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Magic Muffin. Dude, go through my stuff. I've got kit bashes. I've got customs. I've got years worth of endless reviews. Like, I mean, I legit have how many here now? Eight detolfs over here filled to the brim with things I have built over the last almost 10 years. Um, is it almost 10, 20, 20? Almost 10 years. Um, so yeah, no, I've got lots and lots of stuff. I've got customs that have been in the works. I have a custom project that's still sitting here on the desk. Like, hey, remember me? You were supposed to finish this, and I'm like, now to be fair, I stopped working on that because I hit a snag with the paint job I was going to give it. Joey knows, and Eric also knows because I showed them the things I was working on. I still have the custom kit bash still sitting over there in a pile of runners. I got it to a good point, but then I had to stop to really get back to building in December so that I had anything for review because I was working on that for almost 2 months and just got to a point where okay, I've got to stop and do other things. Optimus FJ Studios, hi. Irritated the propaganda show Lucas Zaku is double P Bandai. It's Gundam base. Oh, it's a Gundam base exclusive. That does make it worse. And I'm sorry I can't show you any of my customs offhand. Magic Muffin, they're over there. They're over there. But if you just scroll back through the last few months, you'll see stuff. I mean, just scroll through my videos. You'll see customs. I've got build logs and all kinds of stuff. I have a kit bash that I haven't finished. I've got a couple kit bashes I didn't finish. I just literally wanted to build anything but the stuff I was working on. So I took remnants of other builds and even some broken parts and did a quick kit bash one night, literally over the course of a couple of hours, and it's one of the cooler things I've made. And I just have not finished it because I kind of reached a point and I'm like, this is kind of done. And then it's just like, do I want to paint this thing? I sort of like it how it is, you know. So yeah, there's plenty to look at. There's plenty of customs. And for anyone who's wondering about this year's contest, I don't know. Uh, at the moment, I'm not sure how this year's contest is gonna go. I'm gonna need like some assurances that people will participate before I spend hundreds of dollars to make a contest happen, and then I don't even get back the money I spent to donate to a charity. You know what I mean? Plus, I currently don't have a cause. Normally, a cause finds its way to me, which is what happened like the last few years. So, Lupus for Lupus was based off of my wife having lupus. Balls for Balls was based off of Rodimus 13 having gone through testicular cancer and me meeting him through Balls for Balls. Um, the MS 100 was due to Nate Simmons being diagnosed with MS. So all those things. But the MS 100 so far monetarily was the biggest failure of all of my contests for charity. So it's like I want to make sure that I'm going to have people on board before I really get the ball rolling. I want to do another contest. I enjoy doing contests. I just want to make sure it's going to be worth everyone's time to make it happen. SD Artemy turned out stunning. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad I found a new English Gundam YouTuber. Will definitely stay up to date. Cool. And this year, last year, I wanted to do more customs because I was just kind of tired of just building and reviewing. But because we are hopefully moving in a few months, I need to build what I have. So I think. Shut up, phone. What even was that? Why is that? That didn't make sense. I got a notification to play this particular video on the TV, It's a video I watched sometime earlier this week. I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, no, last year was about trying to get some customs done. It didn't happen. I did work. I did a lot of work on customs. I made some cool custom shit that I didn't really make public because they weren't done. I want to show off a finished project, you know. Oh, I need to, and this is so dumb. So for those who knew, I was working on a custom project back after Double October ended. Um, and I made a lot of progress on that for those who were following anything. And I did build logs, but I stupidly never uploaded the third build log to the Patreon. It's like I did the first two. The third one was produced. I never uploaded it, so it was really funny. But I do appreciate the new subscription. Thanks for that, Magic Muffin. And if you're interested in other things, like you see behind me here, that's what the secondary channel is for. So Shoki Reviews 2. I do a lot of action figure stuff over there. Half of my Transformers content ends up over there, along with vlogs. So if you're interested in that, by all means, go subscribe over that. Yeah, the SD Artemy Hito was one of the better things I accomplished last year, along with the May, the char version of May. That was one of my favorite things I did. And look, this is how crazy last year was. I didn't even do a class of 2020. Like I every year since I started, I've done a class of whatever year to talk about my builds and everything like that. I didn't even do that this past year. It was just like favorite builds, favorite all those other things. And while I know some people like those things, other people, a great deal of people, don't give a shit. What's really funny, the videos that get the most views that I've done is 2016 and 2017. That's at least 2 other years that people literally don't care about. So that's what's funny. You know, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, so now I got to go through all of the dozen or more Transformers that I purchased, including 2 massive combiners, including 3 massive city bots, and say, okay, which one of the ones do I like the most? Okay, I've got more than a dozen statues in the year. So, okay, what's my favorite? Okay, I've gotten dozens of action figures. So it's like, okay, what's the favorite? Oh, Jesus. And builds, 2020 builds, I really didn't do that many. So it would have been like, okay, which build of 2020 were the ones I liked the most or were the best? So it's like, what do I bother doing this thing? Oh, one of my just going over it, one of the better things I built last year, the mini Tolfs, you know, to best 2020 projects surviving. Yep. No, the mini Tolfs, all 3 of them, those were one of the cooler things that I created last year. Um, and I still have mini Tolf 1, mini Tolf 2 was a gift, and mini Tolf 3 was a commission. Apparently, there's another commission that has been talked about, but I think I personally have forgotten what it's going to be because nothing was hammered out, so to speak. So there may be a future mini Tolf project this year. I do want to make more of them, and I do want to make them better. I do want to improve on the mini Tolf because somebody else was making them, and fans of that build were ragging on mine. I'm like, have you looked at the dimensions of his build? That's not even the dimensions of a Detolf. Mine is dead on the dimensions of a Detolf, just itty bitty. So I'm working. I want to work on that and maybe make a few for sale because I'm sure there are people out there who would love their own mini Tolfs. Shoki mini Tolf, kind of fun. But like, what's weird about this year? What series are even coming out Gundam wise? You know, um, other than the new SD World series, and I'm not keen on those kits because the 2 I've built are such a pain in the ass. I'm not necessarily keen on buying the ones from this new series, even though some of them look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but if they're all gonna take that amount of work for a tiny little SD thing that has just a few gimmicks, I don't know that it's worth my time. Um, Hathaway's Flash, I do want to get the the HG She Gundam, or Kasi, or however the hell you want to pronounce it. So that's going to come out this year. That'll be a thing that happens. Another gigantic HG kit for me to build. But like I said, one of my goals this year is to build what I have without adding too much to the backlog. And because I don't know, at least as of filming this, if we're going to still be in this crappy apartment or have a brand new home, I have no idea how Double October is going to go just yet. I have stuff for Double October. I'm preemptively buying things. Yes, I saw the MG Exia Repair 3. You think I don't see things? I'm a P Bandai member. I get the notifications. So, no. Virtue, I can't wait for MG Virtue. I hope. My worry is it's going to come out in September. So it will barely come out in time. So whether or not there's a new series for either me and Rodimus to review together, or if anybody else wants to review a series with me, that would be cool. This year, who knows? This year is playing catch up for last year, so I don't know how it's going to go exactly. And I'm sure you guys kind of feel the same. Has it only been an hour? Holy crap! She sells by the Kashi shore. Yep. I do look forward to that. I know I'm not going to buy the one that's got all the effects and all that stuff because I think that's a 2-pack. So I don't need to buy the Penelope again. I've already got that. It's still sitting over here looking stupid. You know what? That was the worst build of, what was it, 2019, I believe? Right at the end of 2019? I think that was in there. So, and here's the other thing. I still got to fix my display space. So I've got a whole chunk of Billy down here that is just waiting to be filled with stuff. Well, actually, you know what? Unicron might end up down there, at least temporarily. And then I have an entire Billy in the corner back here that I can't even use. It's just kind of stuck off to the side. So I still have things I need to do in here to work out my display space. I've got multiple things already on pre-order. I did pre-order the Iron Studios Mumra, but that doesn't come out till like next year. I'm still very tempted to order the Thunder Tank from Super 7. The wifey will kill me, but then again, I only have to put down a down payment, and I could cancel up until it comes. So if that doesn't come out till like February of next year, that's something I could definitely afford to make happen. And I never had a Thunder Tank as a kid. My cousin had one, and I'm overly excited about that Super 7 Thunder Tank. But that means I would have to order at least a Super 7 Panthro to go in it. Another thing I want to do this year is dioramas. Like, I want to get into building dioramas for my displays. So I've got my Transformer displays over here. We got big battles going on. I want to build out dioramas on the shelf, whether it's a Cybertronian, like buildings in the background and metal floors and broken stuff for them to climb on, or an Earth-based battle over there. Another thing that's coming out this year, the Kingdom Titan class Arc is going to be coming out, so that's something I got to buy, which will be a whole display in and of itself, because I'm going to have that displayed in its Arc form as an Exodus from Cybertron display with more of the Legends class. That Thunder Tank is huge. It is very huge. That's why I want it. It's amazing. Yeah, I think that Thunder Tank is shorter than the Ecto 1, but roughly, along those size. Of course, the Ecto 1 build is ongoing. Once again, that's only happening on the Patreon. I still weep for the Thundercats reboot. Dude, they got the short end of the stick in 2011 Thundercats. That was a good series. That just sucked that it got canceled. Netflix should have picked that up. Like, I could see that easily being picked up by Netflix and continued where they left off. Maybe slightly different animation just because of what it is, but That would have been amazing. I mean, can you even stream that anywhere? I don't know who owns the rights to that because that was Nickelodeon. Who has all the Nickelodeon stuff now? Some is some of that on Disney Plus. I'm not sure, but like I liked that series and I liked where it was going, and for it to just kind of dead end is like the Stargate universe problem. You're gonna need a bigger place. That's the idea. We're looking for either a 3-bedroom apartment. Um, we don't really want to do another apartment unless it's like a townhome where we can have multi-story and get things in there. And we're making a little bit more money than we were last year or the year before. Hey, baby, you want to lay down? Okay. All right, love you. Pub burger. No, that's terrible. Um, so we are looking for a bigger place. We wanted to rent a house because of just how I feel about renting. You know, it just in a lot of ways it makes way more sense to rent. I'm not going into that right now. But rental properties right now are through the damn roof. We've been looking for the last couple months, and so many rental properties, the price has just continually gone up, and it's kind of crazy to where like they're charging even apartments are now charging more than some people's mortgages for like a 2-bedroom apartment. And it's like, I don't know if they're doing that because like the market has kind of dropped and they have to adjust prices to keep their revenue up, but then that just keeps less people coming in that can afford to live there. So that's the worst double-edged sword about it. And the housing market, especially where we are, which is one of the fastest growing cities in Texas, if not the nation. We were the fastest growing county in the whole U.S. back in like 2018, 2019. Um, so that was actually it created kind of a boom where things were more affordable because they kept it that way. And then now the prices have all skyrocketed. So even though we're making more money, we have less debt, which was the goal, get out of essentially almost any and all debt to make it easier to pay for a more expensive place. We're now at the point where it's like we might be forced to buy a house because a mortgage would be cheaper at this particular stage. Then you add in taxes, you add in all the other bullshit. Not to mention, do you buy an old house to keep it, you know, affordable, or go for a brand new house that you have less problems with? All these things. Yeah, exactly. The housing market monster has recovered. Yeah, it's gotten ridiculous. Rent was more of a house payment is now. Yeah, see, it's almost the exact problem or exact opposite problem that we used to have, where it's too expensive to afford a house, and now they're marketing. Certain developers are marketing brand new houses for roughly what we're paying for this apartment a month, and like up to a 3-bedroom with a garage and all that stuff for what we're basically paying for this place. You know, and mind you, that's not including taxes or anything else. We know roughly that we can afford at least a couple hundred more dollars, maybe 300 more dollars a month than we pay right now, and still be okay. But we can't stretch ourselves so thin, especially with the increase of prices in everything. You know, gas prices have gone up, food costs have gone up, especially since the freeze. Food costs has gone up very much where we live because they're having to make up for losing literally half the food in existence in Texas in a week. Um, so that's a mess because I went to the grocery store this morning. I only got 3 bags of groceries, reasonable stuff, and paid over $50 for just a quick trip to the grocery store. And we're not talking Whole Foods, we're talking Kroger with using the Kroger card. And it was still over $50. It's like $50 used to get us like 2 or 3 days worth of food for the two of us, you know, if we shopped it right. The last grocery trip we made when we were virtually out of food, it was $300 before discount. So it's gotten absurd. You know, if our 2 almost 3 weeks worth of groceries is costing us almost 2 months grocery budget from a year ago, something has gone wrong. Sorry, that was gross. Something stuck in it. Lindell Rodriguez, what's up? It's about $240 cheaper for my house payment than my rent would have been this year. Yeah, I mean, we're worried that we definitely can't stay here. One, because we're just so tired. I've outgrown this, obviously, if you guys have followed the vlogs. We're just done with this place. All the problems we've had in the 5 years we've been here, it's just gotten worse. And now our good neighbors are gone or leaving currently. So we're going to have the grab bag of whatever people they can slap into those apartments again. Uh, it just sucks. We had a decent community for the last couple of years. A couple people have issues, but it's been okay. We can't go through another round of random people moving in, causing God knows what kind of problems. Um, so if nothing else, we have to leave this apartment. Even if we stay in the complex and go to a different apartment because they have bigger ones, they have townhomes. I just don't know what's available. I don't think the townhomes have more space than this though. Because we were looking at just renting a townhome for an indefinite amount of time, if it was going to be affordable, and in an okay neighborhood or okay area. We'd love to stay in our current city because it's convenient. This is where everyone and everything we know is. So, if we move somewhere further away, we have less support, longer drive to work, whatever. And there are really cheap properties like 15, 20 miles north of here, but it's so far from everything we do. It's like, is it worth getting cheap property to but give up, the advantages of where we currently live? So it sucks. Food costs is outrageous. Yeah, it's got to get under control. Um, the food cost was fairly affordable there for a while, and I know a lot of it is all the political bullshit of the world has just turned into costs rising across the world. So, or at least in our world, I should say. So it's a mess that they've really got to get us out of. But here in Texas, obviously, due to the fact we lost literally grocery stores, schools, colleges, the endless amounts of homes worth of food in a week. They're only just barely getting the shelves restocked in some stores. Schools are having to pull food from other parts of the country. And it's one thing, like, for those who don't understand why it was a problem, the entire state of Texas had a blizzard. Say when we're used to getting at least one, maybe two hurricanes a year that affect the Gulf Coast, especially around about where we live. You get one hurricane, it affects a couple cities, whether that's wind damage, water damage, knocking down power lines. Cool. You have an entire state to pull resources. In this case, we had no place to pull resources, especially electricity. And given the politics and bureaucracy behind the electrical grid debacle, somebody's going to jail at some point for the way that was handled. After the investigation, somebody's definitely going to jail, and they're having to rework how Texas does its energy again because they spent way too much money backing a particular type of electricity that did nobody any good instead of reinforcing the types of electricity we easily produce and let those things fall to the wayside where nobody was paying attention to the point that they could just all die at the drop of a hat all at the exact same time. So, and then you got people literally having to go into debt to take care of their electric bills for a few days worth of electricity. I still have no clue what ours is going to be. I got our last month electricity bill, which was nothing. I'm worried that I'm going to be slapped with like a several $100 electric bill for a week's worth of power. Still waiting on jail time for Flint's water. Hey, Michigan? Michigan has a whole lot of problems that need to be investigated. And hopefully, after what happened in New York recently, things are going to start getting fixed. Snowstorm was killer for you guys in more ways than just one. Yes. Chris over Jackie, I really love your videos. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad somebody does. I always say that. Yeah, no, the mishandling of the Flint water situation is bad. Let's just be honest. What's funny is we did get a minor hint towards that in that week of the freeze, because with no power, all of the water purification plants had nothing to do. But in some cases, people could still get water, but it had not been filtered. It had not been treated in any way, shape, or form. So a lot of the major counties in and around Houston all were under a boil water notice for a solid week, or at least a solid four days, because they had no idea how good the water may or may not be. Ours was actually coming out of the tap once we got water back. So this is what's funny. We had water, no problem, and then like the very cold day hit where it was literally down in the single digits, and with wind chill was literally hitting zero. Um, the water just stopped essentially altogether, and we thought our pipes froze. It wasn't us, it was elsewhere. And the city actually lowered the water pressure to hopefully deal with pipes breaking. Except in a lot of cases, that actually makes it worse, because now the water's moving slowly and it might freeze faster. It's just one of those things down here. You can or cannot predict what will happen. So we definitely had pipe breaks near us, not here, near us, because when the water finally came back, it was coming out brown and sandy or dirty or rusty, whatever. And then after about 4 days, maybe 5, the water pressure finally came back. We finally got hot water, and the water finally started running clear, stopped smelling, and things like that. So we had like the itty bitty version of what happened in Flint. And that's just here. We're not even part of Houston. That's just locally. So, I mean, it was. And then, of course, if you were following my post and then what I made, or the thing I did the other day with what's been going on, and you saw my parents' house did have to deal with busted pipes and the ceiling nearly collapsing on my mom. In a lot of ways, definitely luckier than thousands, maybe millions of people who have had to deal with breakages. Oh, I brought some thing to a guy yesterday that literally was so they could have hot water again. The ice storm ended, we got out of freezing temperatures more than a week ago. So they just now, as of yesterday, the ice storm hit on the 15th, so just yesterday finally could get hot water back in their house. And then they have a very nice house in the middle of nowhere. So even super rich people, or mildly rich people, couldn't even get water back online. So it is what it is. But yeah, it was funny that basically going by the daylight, I was building Gunpla, because at one point we had no power for I don't know how many hours, to be honest. I just know it was off, and it was starting to get cold in the house. Some people, even my parents, didn't have heat for days on end, basically doing anything and everything to keep from dying of the cold. When you have super elderly parents and their house is literally getting down to the 40s and even 30s indoors, no fire they were lighting was doing any good because the way their fireplace is broken, so all the heat just goes up the chimney. Um, Mom was literally trying to keep the kitchen warm with the oven, that kind of shit. And they had water until everything froze solid. So at that point, they couldn't even take a bath. It sucks, and that was still on the minimal end of things that happened to poor people. So there's Jerry. Figured he would be here eventually. See, Jerry's way further south than I am, and he was dealing with the ice and snow problems. One of my best friends and one of my oldest friends lives down in the valley, which is like basically Mexico. Um, and they said they had the exact same problems we were having 8 hours north, you know? So it was a thing that just happened across two. Not, it has almost never in modern history happened in Texas. What happened? Like it was a once in essentially a century, almost 2 centuries storm. Nothing on modern records. It didn't snow, just rained ice. That's worse. Hey, if it only snowed here, it would have been nothing. The ice is what killed everything. Especially the next day when things started, or 2 days later when things started to thaw out. It was still freezing, but the sun was out and everything like that. That's when I was taking the pictures when I went for the walk. That was one of those pictures that you saw was the driveway of our apartment complex where water had been draining from the day before where things were thawing out. And then the rain happened, and then another deep freeze came through. So it literally was just ice across the parking lot, down and out. But back when I was in Russia, there was hot water for an hour twice per day, but that was normal. Hey, we had that here at random times. When the city was doing work on the new sidewalks nearby, they had to dig everything up, rerun drainage, and they broke water mains so many times. I was like, isn't it kind of your job to know where the water lines are? You're digging where these things go. And then there was once they hit a water line. So that killed the water for where we live because they had to shut everything down. And then the way our boiler, for lack of a better term, works, because we don't have individual water heaters, we have kind of a central giant water heater for the buildings. Um, Once it's empty, it should have a safety shut off, but basically so it doesn't burn itself out. But if it thinks that there's enough pressure, it'll just keep going. So the city killed the water, then the thing wouldn't shut off, so it ended up burning itself out. So we didn't have hot water for almost 2 weeks, and it was going into winter. It wasn't quite. It was like late fall, so we weren't like freezing or anything, but basically having to take like 50-degree showers. And Miss Shoki does not like that. She was very angry. And then when they hit the gas line, it's so very similar. So we finally got the hot water back online, and then the city knocked out the gas line. So then there was no gas for the thing to heat. So you went several weeks with questionable hot water. And then there was a long time where it was a little bit of hot water, if you wanted to call it that. You noticed it wasn't 50 degrees water. So basically, those are the kind of things that suck. And when modern life comes to a screeching halt like that, it's kind of ridiculous. That was nice. Yeah, sorry, this has just been kind of a catch up and just chit chat live stream. Yesterday, I wanted to do another Your 15 Minutes live stream because I thought it'd be fun just to have people on. I'll probably do one this coming weekend. So maybe next Saturday, I'll do another Your 15 Minutes so you guys can come on and do whatever. This time, I wanted to try out the lapel mic and see how well it worked for the live stream. It seemed to be working okay. You guys can seem to be able to hear me. Is the quality okay? Because that's one thing I could not control is any kind of EQ or quality on that. But like I said, tomorrow, Master Grade Monday will happen. It's already filmed. It's already scheduled to come out. Oh, I need to double check when. I forgot. So if you guys haven't noticed, I've changed my schedule to come out around 7 p.m. instead of 4 a.m., which is when 4 or 5 a.m. was when I used to set my stuff. And then I looked at when people, because on the analytics, you can now see when your subscribers are coming online. And way more people were coming on between 6 and 8 p.m. than any other time of day. So I restructured that. So if the release schedule of videos was confusing you, that's why. And then the secondary channel, it's even a different thing. And on the third channel, I don't think there's enough analytics to truly know exactly when that comes out. But I've been doing those more morning or noon. So there's that. So, you know, just so you know, Master Grade Monday is happening with the Barbatos expansion parts. And spoilers, it's a long-ish video. Kind of like the Aegis Knight video was long. And for anybody who wants to complain that video was long, can you say there's anything I missed in that review? There's a lot. I mean, was it three full transformations plus a buttload of stuff? So I'm going to work on the Re-Rising Gundam review, whether I have to reshoot it or try to do a voiceover. I have to run down into Houston to give Rodimus 13 the Transformers I've been sitting on for him for quite some time. And then I need to get back on the action figures. So I've got Doc Brown, who's been waiting here forever on my desk. I've got other stuff sitting here. I completely forgot that I got this guy. Like, that's how bad it's been. So, I got this back near my birthday, and I completely forgot because I haven't been in this room for like 3 weeks, you know? And I come in here, I'm like, man, I'm glad I got caught up on all my reviews. And then I walk around here and I'm like, yeah, great. So that's going to be fun. That should be a fairly quick review, if I'm honest. He doesn't have that much to go with. But I'm excited to get back to work. I took a little too much of a break, whether it was on purpose or not. So I got all those like Studio 86 Transformers done, which I'm sure JJ Prime was like all about. I'm still looking at those as they come out, see which ones I want to get. Earthrise, I think I'm done with. Kingdom, I don't think there's much in the Kingdom line I even want to bother getting. I got to watch my spending so that we can keep saving up to have more money to move, whether that's a down payment for a house or several months worth of rent, So basically between tax returns, saving up money, if we get the stimulus or not, I don't know how or where that's going at the moment. I know that in and of itself is a giant mess, so I don't want to get into that. I think you needed a break. No, I didn't. That's the thing. I didn't need a break. If I need a break, I take it. Like post Double October, I always take a break because that is the most maddening time of year. The most work I do all year long is Double October, trying to speed build 15, 20 kits and review all of them. That is the only time that I feel like I need to take a break. No, what I need now is to get back in the groove of working and to take a forced break, whether it's because the power was out, whether it was because I've been busy doing other things, like what happens during Christmas. It's just less time to get stuff done. Now I need to make more content. I need to get more things out there. Having January essentially off, who cares? It's the least paid month. But in February, I didn't put out that much. I tried. I mean, there was a lot of Transformer stuff, but nobody really watched it. There's a lot of 52 toy stuff coming. I'm super excited about that. My wallet won't be because I have like 6 things pre-ordered that have not come in yet. So I'm worried that those are all going to hit at the same time. I got New Age stuff I can't wait to get. So between Transformers, Gundams, Digimon, technically speaking, because there's a lot of Digimon kits coming out. I'm excited for a lot of these things. Yeah, I'm not. There's problems. We'll see what happens. I mean, realistically, there's only one real problem built into there that isn't going to help anybody, but I'm not getting into it. Not to mention just the sheer amount of wasted stuff in a stimulus bill. It's supposed to go to help Americans, that is packed full of stuff that has zero to do with coronavirus relief. And that's the biggest failure of our government as it is. It's like, you know what? Don't give us this money if it means all of this other bullshit. It's like, just let people have their lives back. And I've said that repeatedly. It's like, you know, let everyone go back to work. You know, it's like, let everyone go back to work with restrictions just to be safe, whether you believe whatever, just follow certain guidelines and you'll be okay. I mean, there's many states, including Texas, that have essentially proved you can do it and get people back to work almost entirely, and things are relatively fine. So instead of worrying about borrowing another $2 trillion, or rather printing $2 trillion and just completely screwing up the US dollar, just let people have their lives back. I just got some Seacons in from Hasbro Pulse. I found it under a snowbank as it melted. It'd been there for weeks. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. You know, I've often thought about that. It's like, how many people don't even know they have packages because they're buried under snow? It's like, I thought about that when it was snowing here. I mean, we got several inches here, which is insane because like the last time it snowed a couple months ago, if it was even a couple months ago, it didn't snow everywhere. It only snowed in a few counties and then up north. But like my cousin got 4 or 5 inches of snow in like a day and a half, and then it was all gone within a day. Temperatures went right back to normal. This was snow, ice, rain for days. Um, we tried to build a really pathetic snowman, by the way, but the snow was so soft and fluffy, we couldn't actually pack together a decent snowman. Eric did. Erica did that. He sent me a picture of the snowman they made at his apartment. That was actually pretty good. See, if I had a truck where like the whole bed had been filled with snow, that would have been really cool. But at least our sad attempt at a snowman was the last thing to melt. So there's that. At least it was bagged. Yes, thank you. Very good. Um, oh, one. Okay, so I want to bring this up. I'm probably going to go here in a little bit. So, real quick, just a blanket question for everyone watching right now. What is your favorite go-to burger place, wherever it is you live? I'm going to wait for responses. I know the delay isn't that bad, but I want to see. Favorite burger place, whether it's a mom and pop, but if it's a chain, like name it specifically. And I have a point. I'm just asking y'all's. Okay, Burger King for Anthony. Well, you have to give the answer, Jerry. Tropical Hut. Yeah, you're not over here though. Let's see. I want to build a snowman, douse him in sanitizer, set him on fire. That's messed up. Jeremy Osha. I haven't seen you in a while. Wendy's, nice. Wendy's person. Because I know I've got people watching from all over the U.S. and all over the world, essentially too. Uh, Taco Bell's not a burger place, specifically burgers. If your Taco Bell is serving burgers, I don't know what's going on there. Five Guys, cool. I'll give you credit for Five Guys. For the subway of burgers, I will give you that. Waterburger, but a place near me called Wallbangers. Harvey Wallbangers. Harvey Wallbangers is pretty cool. Cube View. Wendy's, cool. Another Wendy's person. That's two for Wendy's, only one Waterburger. Alberta, Canada. Yeah, yeah. Wendy's in Canada. Do they have anything cool on the menu? No pun intended. Because I know Canada will have a lot of different. Well, a lot of different countries have much different menus than just straight up U.S. stuff. See, I'm waiting to see any West Coast or East Coasters weigh in, and I'm not seeing a lot of that. Oh, that sucks. Cookout. Never heard of that one. Okay, so nothing crazy on the menu. That's interesting. Newport Creamery. Nice. So I was like, mom and pop places are interesting, but obviously chains are important because Texas has, in the last couple years, opened up in New England. Okay. I figured with Newport, Connecticut. Connecticut. Really popular in Carolinas and Georgia area. Interesting. Okay. Um, so here in Texas, yes, we had Whataburger, which is made here in Texas. It's from Texas. Whataburger, Sonic, Burger King, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, um, Wendy's. Almost forgot Wendy's. Those were like the staples, and then like a couple other things. Five Guys really kind of came in probably about 10 years ago. Maybe a little bit longer, but it is what it is. However, very recently, in local history at least, Houston has gotten three in and outs. I think the third one opened very recently. It's closer to Cyprus. Um, and I did last year with my cousin on a trip to IKEA. We popped in down at In and Out, so I got to finally try In and Out for the first time. Like four of those that you mentioned in Ohio. Cool. Um, so having watched the great burger debates, as it were, for a while. In fact, watching that burger show on YouTube's from First We Feast. By the way, go watch that and go watch the Burger Scholar. Anything with George Motes worth watching. Go subscribe to First We Feast. Lots of great stuff. Lots of great food content over there. So watching the debates between West Coast and East Coast stuff. In and Out is a West Coast chain, very California, and I liked it. I thought it was good. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever had. I definitely had better like mom and pop burgers. We have a place right down the road from us called Burger Fresh, which is like the oldest burger place locally, and they've got some like amazing burgers. And like over the years, they have cool stuff. But as a chain goes, having In and Out for the first time was very interesting, very different, and I would rate it over some things. Like probably over Burger King. I used to like Burger King a lot, but then I started eating it too much and then started disagreeing with me. That was probably more about what I was eating versus the fact that I was eating it. Um, and then McDonald's, I basically don't eat McDonald's anymore. Jack in the Box, I haven't actively gone to a Jack in the Box in a very long time, but the ultimate cheeseburger was like one of the greatest inventions of all time. Sonic is one of our two staples. We go to Sonic or Whataburger in this house. But if an In-N-Out was local, I would probably frequent it just as much. But last weekend, we went to Shake Shack for the first time. So we finally got a Shake Shack all the way from the other side of the country for the first time. And holy shit, guys. Um, I had heard that the difference between In and Out, which is basically a fast food place that's trying to be about as gourmet as you can get on a fast food style and or budget. But Shake Shack is a gourmet base becoming a or being served as a fast food place, which by the way, not fast. We waited like almost 30 minutes for our food. But holy shit, Shake Shack was amazing. Stupid expensive. Probably the worst weekend to have possibly gone. Right after the freeze, but everybody was out and about. The food was the fries were just meh, just crinkle cut fries. Nobody cared. But I got the I think it was called like a bacon. It had bacon on it. I think it was called a smoke shack. I think it was what it was called. So it was supposed to be like barbecue-ish with bacon, and then it had like these red peppers on it. That was so fucking good, and it's on a potato roll. Jesus Christ. Um, Compared to In-N-Out, not the same game at all. And then I also got their Korean chicken sandwich, which was probably one of the best just as you go chicken sandwiches. Like, because it had gochujang sauce on the chicken patty. It had uh, a very basic kimchi, and then I think there's something else on there. I just don't remember what it was. Other than the size, they were small, but holy shit, it was fantastic. So, like, I'm sorry, Shake Shack as a burger is better than Whataburger. Sorry, Texas. It is what it is. I would say that In-N-Out and Whataburger are on the same level. If you have access to one, you're gonna prioritize it over the other. But neither is doing anything that much more spectacular than the other. It's just like, do I want a double animal style, or do I want a patty melt or a just a double cheeseburger from that? But I find myself frequenting Sonic more than Whataburger, and for me, Shake Shack as a cheeseburger was beyond all of those things. It was kind of stupid. Uh, how cold did it get down here? Okay, hold on. It said all the Five Guys here shut down. They were really good, just pricey as heck. We had Five Guys DoorDashed back around Christmas time. Was expensive ish, but they give you a bucket of fries whether you wanted it or not. The burger was just kind of eh. That's one problem with them giving you the ability to make up your own burgers. Um, if it's fucked up, it's on you. My burger was okay. I think the wife wasn't too happy with her solution. How cold did it get down here, Jeremy? With wind chill, it was 0. It got as cold as, depending on the minute of the day, between 6 and 9 degrees Fahrenheit, actual temperature. And then with wind chill, it either was 0 or negative. No, that wasn't 100. That wasn't sustained, but it was in the teens for a solid day. It was between 14 and 19 for a solid day. It was in the 20s for like a day and a half. It warmed back up into the low 30s, and then it went right back down into the 20s and teens, and then went to 70 degrees. So, I mean, it does not get that cold here in Southeast Texas. It just doesn't. 20s is pushing it for a record. Like a record low this time of year would be in the 20s. Record low for Christmas time would be the 20s. The fact that it hit essentially 0 is unheard of. That's why I said that it was a once in like almost 200-year storm. They say like 140, but let's just round it up to 2 centuries. It's just really stupid. Five Guys Cajun fries for the win. Yes. So, okay. So since we're still on food and just trying to make you people hungry, who's got the best potato-based side out of your favorite places? Whether that's tots, waffle fries, regular fries, any of those things. Cottage fries for those crinkle cut fries. So just throwing it out there because he said that Cajun fries are for the win. I agree that their Cajun fries are great, but when the grease from said fries is soaking through the cup, through the bag, and onto your table, it's a little much. And yes, In-N-Out animal style fries would count because you can throw that shit on top of the fries. I will wait. I will wait for your potato-based answers. Okay, see right there, that's a Canadian thing, Jeremy. Loaded poutine. I want more poutine. There's very few places down here that will actively do poutine. And as far as I know, other than attempting it myself, I don't think I've had actual poutine. Uh, KFC discontinued potato wedges. Yeah, that did hurt me as well. Five Guys fries are pretty darn good, but I think Mr. Hero waffle. I'm assuming that's supposed to be waffle fries or the best. Or this wafer fries. Is it supposed to be wafer? Or is it supposed to be waffle? Because I don't know what a wafer fry is. I know what a wafer is. Because I would argue that because they're one of the only options, Sonic has the best tater tots. I don't get fries at Sonic. I accidentally got fries at Sonic the other day, and I regretted it, but I ate them. Best curly fries goes to Arby's because I would have said Jack in the Box a long time ago, but I had to actively choose to have curly fries at Jack in the Box, and because their regular fries were shit. But I'd say Arby's has the best curly fries. Uh, Chick-fil-A, and mind you, we can go into Chick-fil-A as well. So Chick-fil-A waffle fries, because almost no one else does waffle fries, but they do them good. But ours has had some not so great fries as of late. I don't know, it's just the way things have gone. Um, and then let me think here. As for regular old French fries, I don't eat them anymore, but I would say that McDonald's would have to be on that list, but I would rather have Cajun fries over McDonald's fries. They call them that. It's just their waffle fries. They call them that. Interesting. Golden tumbler days. Oh, I would definitely throw in Taco Bell nacho fries. That will definitely throw those in the ring because those suckers are addictive. That it's something about the light dusting of like taco seasoning on the fries with that stupidly good queso. So that is, at least for me, what's on there. Oh, I will say Whataburger fries are pretty good. So I'd say Whataburger basic fries over McDonald's basic fries because I'll just sit there, open up my spicy ketchup, and then just handful it, you know. Burger King fries are better than Mickey D's fries. Okay, I'll let you take that. I don't remember Burger King fries. I like Burger King's onion rings because they remind me of old school cafeteria onion rings. After we get off of potatoes, we'll talk about onion rings. Yeah, you're right. They don't have a strong finish, but they're literally like you don't want to stop eating them. Like if they had a bucket of them, you would just keep going. And you're just like, come on. They definitely must put some crack in there. Greenwich. Is that supposed to be Greenwich or Greenwich? Because it's spelled the same. That's what I was asking. I know it's random discussion with Shoki night here, but still waiting on other potato-based things. You can list them out. Like you're like, this is your best curly fry. This is your best. Nobody else does tater tots other than Sonic that I know of. Um, somebody. Oh, Chick-fil-A does their what they call hash browns, but they're actually just like tater tot rounds. They're okay. They just all stick together. They just become one thing. Burger King fries are like New England roads, broad and cracked with salt. That's just weird. Is what it is. Random discussion with Shoki time. So after you guys have determined your best salty potato treat, best onion rings, if you're an onion ring fan. Chili's fries are the same, but peppered like sand. That's terrible. Yeah, no, I know McDonald's has hash browns. Oh yeah, I guess we want to consider that. Fine, you can consider breakfast potato options for fast food, not like Denny's or something like that. Yeah, I will definitely grant you McDonald's hash browns over Probably anybody else's morning hash browns. No, I know what you meant. Has browns. They has browns. Yeah, I know. Technically, Sonic will do their tater tots with breakfast, so I'm down for that. You're done with potatoes, guys. I don't know what. At least locally. There you go. I'm back. Okay, that was weird. I don't know what just happened there. Wi-Fi signal really dropped. Strange. A&W. Oh, okay. Okay. I gotta give you that, Jeremy. If you guys can see me. Our A&W closed, but you're right. They had fantastic onion rings. But what I was saying before my internet cut off, Burger Fresh does bluebell battered onion rings. So they take bluebell vanilla ice cream instead of doing like buttermilk soaked onion rings. So they do bluebell, and then they do they're really good onion rings. But I would say, uh, I would argue, Whataburger, then Sonic and Burger King side by side for onion rings. A&W was fantastic. You know what? I forgot about A&W because they're gone. I actually enjoyed their burgers. I enjoyed their onion rings. I enjoyed having A&W root beer on ice mug tap. That was the shit, and I missed that. That sucks. It's just we're all like A&W. Everyone just needs to go to A&W now. Now I really want an A&W. Man, I gotta go get an A&W root beer tomorrow. St. Arnold root beer is really good too, by the way, for anybody who has access to it. St. Arnold root beer made here in Houston is really good. Also, a Beta root beer from Louisiana, also really good. For anybody who cares, any brewery that makes root beer, it generally is good. B52 brewery here in town used to make root beer, but it was the most expensive thing they actually made because it took so much sugar. But they had their own root beer on tap, and they don't make it anymore. It's real sad. I made barbecue sauce with that root beer one year. It's so good. Still out there. It's a road quest by itself. Yeah, I mean, literally, A&W turned into a not a Dunkin'. Oh, it's a Dunkin' Baskin Robbins. So there's that, which kind of sucks in and of itself. Or did Dunkin' separate itself? No, they're the same. It's a Dunkin' Baskin Robbins, which I don't go to. And the Burger King, what's funny, our Burger King, which is right next to Sonic and McDonald's and that Whataburger, like in comparison, I think people just don't go to it. B52 sounds like good stuff. Yep, it was a good brewery. Well, I should say B52 is a good brewery. I just don't frequent it as much as I used to. You could easily find me there Friday nights and Saturday afternoons. I lived there for quite some time. I was good. I was in good with the owners. Still friends with them on Facebook, but I don't actively go out there anymore. Not by like, there's no reason. It's just like life happened, and I stopped going as much. Still incredibly good beer, and the place has grown ridiculously in the last 3 years. And it's real nice. It's a nice place to visit too. But yeah, if you wherever you are in the U.S., even maybe Canada, if it's there, if you get American beers, like other breweries, not like Budweiser, check and see if they have do a quick Google search and see if they have root beers. Because if you go to like certain liquor stores that have greater beer selections, they'll also include the root beers or other sodas that might be made by those breweries. And it's usually pretty good. Just random thoughts. So, oh yeah. Do you know the story of how A&W lost to McDonald's early on for a stupid reason? Not offhand. Yeah, sorry. I think my looks like my internet's back strong again. It keeps dipping for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Let me turn that off. I did not consider the wife might be watching YouTube's in the bedroom. I turned off Wi-Fi on my phone. Hopefully, I use up less things. But there it goes. Okay, maybe that'll help. I don't know why. Like I could. It was notifying me my internet was dipping. So sorry about that. But I'm gonna go to bed sometime soon. I have a very long day ahead of me. Least of which is driving 45 minutes to go drop off Transformers to Rodimus tomorrow. Oh, and for those who were here for when I did the unboxing of my childhood stuff, so I still have this shell of a 54, 55 Ford panel truck at this point. I think I'm going to save that and make like a really rusted out like diorama body because that'd be a good thing to practice on. Waiting for the shed. Okay, hold on. Now you got me wanting McDonald's hash browns. Hey, go get yourself some hash browns. I don't care. They're open. Hop in the truck. Go see if they got any hash browns or car, whatever. Dude, I grew up. Okay, so for those who are unaware of my family history, I was born and raised in Houston proper, southwest side of Houston. And I, growing up, we would go to McDonald's or whatever. I don't think I ever went to Burger King, Wendy's, or any of those places, all McDonald's. But whenever we would come out to build on our property out in the country, as it were, when it was still country, we would stop at the same McDonald's, I think on the Beltway and 59, somewhere in that area, every time. So we'd be coming out early on like a Saturday morning, even Sunday mornings, and me and my dad, or me and my mom and dad, would stop at McDonald's and we'd get the old breakfast burritos and the hash browns. And like that was the shit. We're talking like early 90s, late 80s breakfast burritos, not like the bullshit today. They'll be open at 5 a.m. when I pick my son up from work. So just, why is your son at work? You're gonna make your son work the overnight shift? That sucks. I'm also assuming son being a small child. If your son is a teenager, okay, fine, or whatever. I was making the joke as though your son was tiny and he's at work. Either way, yes, definitely go do that. But I still have vivid. He's 19. Okay, that's fine. I was just making the joke as though you were at work and you were picking your son up after work. No, you're picking your son up from work. Okay, English speak. I still remember the last McDonald's I went to with my father. It just made me sad, I think. I honestly don't remember that because I couldn't tell you what decade that was. Probably the 90s. I mean, I didn't really go a whole lot of places to eat with my dad. Um, Usually I was going places with him. It was like Home Depot or the doctor's office for him or for me. Um, we would stop at McDonald's and like grab a Happy Meal or something like that on my way home, but that was like it. Um, Actually, my parents would go to Sonic more than anything else. Yeah, make him work. Good. Pay that rent. Go get some hash browns. Hi, Jeremy's wife. Who's 4 months pregnant. Hey, we ate dinner a little bit early because on the weekends our schedule gets really wonky. Like, we don't eat breakfast on Sunday till like 10 or 11. So then it just messes up the whole day. So sometimes we'll eat a late lunch at like 4 and just call it done. Yesterday, I ate breakfast, did not have lunch, got off work at like 3, came home, showered, made sure the wife had showered, and then we went to dinner or like early dinner to go get some sushi, because we couldn't get sushi on Friday night. So in our town, there is only one sushi place currently open. And so everybody went there Friday night. Like, there was like a 20-minute wait outside, if that. It may have been longer. There was a shit ton of people outside the door, and it's a small place. So I'm just assuming that it's packed inside, or it's just packed as it's allowed to be. And outside, giant group of people waiting to go in. And we just really wanted to have some sushi or Chinese food or whatever. So we settled for Buffalo Wild Wings, which is fine. It's just not what we were after. So I said, you know what? We're making it happen tonight. When I get off work, we're going. It's like, you paid for our food last night. I'm paying for the food now. Damn right, no more free rides. That's funny. Dude, I'm gonna be heartbroken. My daughter is going back to school, as in the facility, as in the. I know it. I think I know what you mean. Good. I mean, I've been a proponent of getting kids of all ages back to school for months now. For those who don't really know, here they've done what they can to get kids back to school since the end of last year. There's been ups and downs, but at least from what I know, maybe I'm wrong on all of the facts, but like, Florida has essentially been doing everything all year long. Like, even last year, like, kids still went to school. So it was like, good. People need to go back to school. Teachers need to get back to work. Kids need to go back to school. Make it happen, Captain. And then everybody just be safe and just realize there's an acceptable risk with doing life nowadays. There's a tiny acceptable risk. Just, it's got to happen. It will go away very soon, according to particular doctors, way sooner than other particular doctors want you to believe. So there's that. But yeah, I think that kids all need to be back in school. It's fucking up their lives not being in school. That's why there's a sad statistic of childhood S word, to be YouTube friendly. And then it has skyrocketed since the lockdowns because they're all depressed. They're isolated. They're not learning anything. And it's sad, and it needs to be reversed as soon as possible for everyone's sake, you know. And we all don't live in the same place, but frankly, we all could be handling things a lot better than has been handled. And we have to have our freedoms. We have to have our lives back. Our children need to have their lives back. I know people, lots of people who have specifically pulled their kids out of public school, found a way to avoid or to pay for private school because it's the only way for their kids to go back to school. And it's a thing. So, yeah. Johnson & Johnson has one coming out that has a much less let's say this. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is much less effective, but it still works. Let's just say that they're like last to market, but the least effective one so far, and it's the only one that's a single shot. So there's that. But really, without going into it, most of the studies have shown so far in other countries that have rolled out the vaccines faster than us, it is doing the C word. I don't want to say it out loud because YouTube. It is acting as a C word because of the way it works. So, you know, Get enough people, get it to enough people, it gets C-worded. Lower acceptance rate, but it has worked 100% of people whose body accepts it. Yeah. I'm just saying that its efficacy is way less compared to the rest. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it's lesser than the rest of them. Still better than Russia's. That's a fact. The Sputnik. Did they actually call it Sputnik, or is that just a joke that I heard? I didn't know people were just referring it to Sputnik because it was done so quick and got out there before just to prove that they could, but it's actually not as good. No, that one for sure has not been the best out there. Those are true nightmare scenarios. Okay, it is called Sputnik. Okay. The V. I'm not sure what the V word is, but fine. But no, you can't say that. You still can't say the C word. You still cannot, from what I know, you still cannot say that this thing, whatever it might be, C words that. You still can't say that, even if it's applied to this, as far as I know. As far as I know. So, not risking. But it is funny that they called it Sputnik. That is quite funny. Considering. Yeah, I don't know exactly which thing you mean by the V word, but it is what it is. There's still lots of words you can't say. there's lots of things you can't say in particular context on YouTube as well. They offered it to my country, but I don't know what that word is. My country took China's Sinovac and AstraZeneca instead. I mean, as far as we know, that those work. I mean, we can't necessarily trust information coming out of those countries, but hey, those are still better than Sputnik. Like the data we've gotten out of the Sputnik ones, it's like no, that is not. That's like just gulag in liquid form. It's like, hey, would you like some gulag? No, I really don't want some gulag. Thank you. Working on Gundam base MS Cage. Cool. I'm actually gonna go to bed though. It's been a long day. The wifey's already in bed. See, I'm bothered by the fact that they just said, "Hey, remember that MS Cage that we released with the unicorn a few years ago, and virtually no other kits since? You can now get it, but only at the Gundam base." Thanks. I actually have. Where is it? I don't remember where I put it. I thought it was over here. I got one of the non-MS Cage things. I thought it was over here, but it might be over in that section. I do have some backlog down here behind me. The rest of the backlog is over there. But I got the not full MS Cage, but like the mobile suit. Like there's like the multi-stage rack, and then it's got the weapons stuff. I think it's more like a parts set thing. I got one of those, and I'm kind of probably happier with it. But it's cool. You got that. I do think it's quite funny that the PG not extreme. What is it? What is the new PG grandpa called? I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Simultaneously sold out. Yeah, exactly. Hangar Bay. Yeah, one of those things. Whatever it's called. But either way, you know what I'm talking about. The new grandpa perfect grade EX thing. Either way, that's basically the exact same. It's just a PG version of the MS Cage. Unleashed, thank you. So I've been watching Mitchell work on his. And I'm just like, man, that looks almost the same as the old MS Cage from the Unicorn, just on a PG scale. I get that they're replicating certain things, but I just don't care. Yeah, I don't remember. It is what it is. It's late. I've been drinking, and it's something I don't own, so I forgot about it. It's like I wasn't keen on getting it because I don't have anywhere to put perfect grades. The one perfect grade I have takes up a quarter of one DTOL shelf. That's the Exia down there. The PG Unleashed. It's a PG Unleashed. Didn't get PG. Going to use the money to get a PS5 instead. Cool. Priorities, man. I think the best part of the MJX unicorn is that it comes with the Menager's exploding dad. That's terrible, Jerry. Whether it's right or not, it's still terrible. But yeah, that couldn't get a whole lot of the expensive MG things. I mean, I got to buy the kits that I need to buy this year. Definitely the ones that I'm excited about, which isn't many, if I'm honest. I'm more excited for any re-releases than actual releases, if that makes sense. But if they give us a new series, I'll be more excited, if I'm honest. But still waiting on Hathaway's Flash. I think it's out in certain places. It just didn't hit the entire world. So I want to see Hathaway's Flash. Can't wait to watch that. I'll do a review of it. Perhaps an actual like live stream review. That'd be fun. But I'm gonna go ahead and say goodnight, guys. I'm tired. My throat is doing the thing where I've been talking for 2 hours. That's true. You can be a Gundam pilot without being an orphan. You're gonna have to name one. But yeah, guys, y'all have a good one. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute. You have a good one. Like, subscribe, do all the things. If you really want to help out and see a lot of stuff that's going on that I don't put on the main channel, by all means, sign up for the Patreon. Doing a lot of stuff over there for a lot of people. If you're interested in all the non-Gundam and non-specifically robot things that I do, especially a lot of the stuff that's behind me right here, go check out the second channel on SHOKY Reviews 2. And then, of course, the third channel where I'm going over music and, well, at the moment, only music, but I want to do other things. And I will be doing live stream reaction reviews. It'll be through this channel and ported to that channel so that I can take donations at the time for reactions. So look forward to that in the near future. I'll be doing that. But I will see you guys later. What was the guy in Unicorn's name that was a Banshee? Oh, Riddy? I mean, what happened to his parents? Because he was pretty messed up. And he was the Banshee pilot for longer than the other Banshee pilots. So, I mean, there's that. But guys, remember as always, keep on nerding, to keep on building. And let's keep building this community together. We're almost to 8,000. That's pretty awesome. I want to hit 10,000 by the summer. So we need to do that. And stick around and watch for any news regarding the next contest. So see you guys later.